Oh my God. What is going on here? It's your boy AB Boxing. And I couldn't ignore this situation that's going on. But after yesterday with one of my interviews talking to Danny and Angel saying that Tim Bradley should get out of retirement and fight Terrence Bud Crawford. Um, they feel like they shouldn't be fighting Crawford, and that Top Rank should be worried about establishing more fighters at 147 than rather than worrying about the fighters at PBC and whatnot. Like I said, I'm not I we could play devil's advocate and argue for each other's side, but I'm gonna be real with y'all, man. Like, now we know Danny got a fight coming up January 25th. Crawford just came off a tremendous um unexpected tremendous victory. He did get rocked third fight. I did tell people Machine is gonna surprise Crawford, and like I said, he Crawford bounced back like a real champion. Um, is there question marks? Is there even more question marks for Crawford at 147? Only time will tell. You know. And Crawford has said he wants to fight the best 147 pounders, and unfortunately, right now, all the best fights for Crawford at 147 are at PBC, and it's unfortunate. But he also has to know his value, and one thing that I want to begin is, like, people the first thing people ask is, oh well, Crawford make $4 or $5 million a fight, and Danny made $1 or $2 million against Crawford and Porter and whatnot. But I think the situations are different, and I think Angel came with a good point in terms of saying, well, I can make an agreement with him where he says, well, Bob hasn't established any other legit 147 fighters, which I think Bob is willing to overpay his 147-pound fighter with Terrence Bud Crawford. And yes, everybody's gonna say, well, Khan got five and whatnot, but it's not like every fight he's gonna be willing to do that. You know what I mean? And with PBC, as many don't understand that, yeah, quote unquote, they're reporting that they get $2 million, but you don't know how much they get in the back end. And I'm pretty sure Al Heyman takes care of them, which I think a lot of people forget about that. Now, should Crawford be penalized for this? For not fighting the best PBC fighters? There's a lot of factors, dynamics to this. You got Crawford himself, who signed with a promoter that doesn't work with the other promoter. Maybe you got the promoter that's not willing to work. But Bob has recently said he's open to have Porter and Crawford. They both are open to it. Of course, Bob wants to make Spence and Crawford because that's an obvious fight. It's a big money fight, and I think Angel kind of made a somewhat of a point where he said, well, there's no money to be made. And yeah, the two networks could work together. He provided examples that when Pacquiao was Top Rank, Floyd was with PBC. The fight got made. There was a lot of money. Both sides benefited. So what Angel's trying to say is, like, at the moment, yeah, it's a big fight. It's a great fight for the fans, but are they going to maximize their earnings? If Bud and Danny go at it, or if Bud and Porter go at it. Like, I think he's trying to say, let things marinate more and let things become bigger, which like I said, like, I just want to say, like, no one's going to take anything from Crawford's accolades. The dude is a stud. You know what I mean? I have whatever feelings I got towards him. Like, he's a star. Like, he belongs in the top pound for pound rankings. 147, even he said he still got to prove himself. And Danny, yeah, I know before we used to call him the cherry picker and whatnot, but I think Danny has kept his word. He's been trying to fight the best. Thurman, Porter. He was on the verge to fight. Of course he lost, but you guys are, like, try to make this analogy that Danny can't hang with the big boys. Both fights were, Danny started late, and then Danny just didn't apply too much pressure, and he didn't throw enough. He didn't throw a lot of high volumes of punches. You know, it's not like he lost by a landslide. You know what I mean? He lost two close fights. Could have gone either way, you know. And with Bud, he just needs a big fight. And, you know, especially now with Bud saying, like, there's no two sides of the streets and whatnot, you know. In reality, you know, let's not create any fallacies here, but there is two sides of the streets. You got two different networks, you got two different promoters, you got two different pawns that you just don't want to make the fights in general, you know what I mean? And the Danny Garcia and Crawford, it's a big fight, you know. And you know, I want to kind of disagree with Angel, because if you make this fight on pay-per-view, I think it could generate you know, couple views, you know what I mean? Like you know, I think Bob is kind of disrespecting Danny in a way, because Danny did say he beat Khan in his prime and whatnot, which is true, and we can't forget about that. And um, you know, you know, the only thing I could disagree with Angel is that he said, you know, Bradley should come, um, should fight Crawford and get out of retirement, and you know that, you know, Crawford's a top rank. No, I think Danny said he's a top rank puppet, and you know, and then I seen a couple videos today that people were saying, well, you know, some people say that, you know, Bradley took Spence and he didn't fight nobody, and Danny didn't fight nobody, and I'm just gonna clear it out. Like, I respect and revere. I revere Timothy Bradley, because he's giving us memorable fights. You know, he's fought. You know, he's a great resume. You know, Pacquiao 3 times, and you know, Pacquiao, he fought Marquez. He fought Alexander. He fought Peterson. Provodnikov. Like, he gave us, you know, gave us some great memories. And same as Danny, you know, gave us Matisse. Um, you gave us, you know, you didn't win the fight, but you gave us Thurman, you gave us Porter. You know, overage Eric Morales, but you know, that was a good fight for him. That was a step up fight for him to, you know, grow and become the person he is. Um, you know, Lamont was a good fight. It was all right, but you know, Lamont. But like I said, yeah, Timothy Bradley is achievement goes beyond some of these current um PBC fighters at the moment. But you got to look at it. Timothy Bradley started way much earlier in his pro career, and I disagree with Angel when he says, "Well, Bradley's been with Top Rank his whole life." I think Timothy Bradley benefited from being in a major promoter and Top Rank. You know, way back he started with I've got the name of the promotion, a local promotion, and I think he had some shows in Golden Boy, and then eventually he made his way up to um, Top Rank. Same as Crawford. I know he was in the local promotions, and then Top Rank got him, and I think still to this day, I think um, the co-promotion or O promotion from Bud, they still gets a piece out of Bud's check. And with Danny, you know, he's taking great fights. You know, I can't deny it. And you know, this rankings, you know, now that we're gonna get to it, this rankings is really gonna tell us what Danny Garcia is really about, and we're gonna see what Bud is about. Cause the WBO rankings have Danny Garcia at number one. At number one. And keep in mind that from what I visualize and for what I hear is that WBO don't really like to work with PBC. Look at Floyd and Pacquiao. He won the WBO title, and Floyd even said he never received his version of his title. And if you look at any other rankings from the previous years, most of these PBC fighters either have the WBC champion, IBF, and WBA. You never see a PBC fighter from. I mean, I could prove me if I'm wrong. They don't have a champion at the WBO, and there's no. They're not really highly ranked, which really surprised me, because now the next two fighters, Danny Garcia, Sergey Lipinets, and then you got Golden Boy's Virgil Ortiz. So we gonna see what really happens. But like I said, Angel's doing what he got to do. He knows that this sport is not forever, and at the end of the day, only they know how much they make, and Crawford only knows how much he makes. But you know, um it's like Danny and Crawford is the opposite of each other. You know, Danny is he can sell. You know what I mean? Even if people laugh at, oh, he's fighting Adrian Granada, he's fighting Red Catch, but I'll be honest, he sells. Crawford is like the star right now. You know, he's pound for pound great, but he just can't sell. I think that's the difference. One can pack the house even with not a elite name. You know, Danny could sell. Crawford, look at it. Crawford and Khan, It didn't even do great pay-per-view buys. We haven't even seen what Danny Garcia could do in pay-per-view buys. But like I said, there's all speculations. You know what I mean? And this fight, honestly, they both have bad blood. They've been in the amateurs together. This fight just needs to happen. But telling you from right now, this is what's gonna happen. If Spence remains out, that PBC is gonna find a way to get Danny to fight somebody else for the WBC title. So then, it's tricky. You know what I mean? Because people are gonna say, well, if Danny gets somewhat the WBC champion, then he's ducking Terrence Crawford. So I think this is gonna be interesting. I think that this situation, I think WBO did this on purpose just to expose Danny Garcia, man. And I feel bad because I don't think Danny's ducking anybody. I just think that he needs to get his fair share of the lion share. And I think for this type of fight, I think Danny deserves, like, honestly, like, he deserves like $5, $6, $7 million for this fight. Bud just, gets what he gets. Like, he could get 7 million too, or 8. Like, this is a great fight, and I think Danny has paid his dues too, at the end of the day, just pay the man his money, and the fight will happen. You know what I mean? Because Danny has fought the best at the moment at welterweight compared to Crawford. Crawford still needs that big credible name. So yeah, the WBO is just here. Damn, I feel bad for homie Danny because Danny's not a ducker. I don't think he's a ducker. He's fought some of the best currently. He's but you also can't blame Danny. You know what I mean? Like, Top Ring had Pacquiao one time. It didn't happen. So it's tough, it's really tough. It's complicated. Timing didn't benefit Crawford when he was on his rise to the top, when Pacquiao left. So it's really hard, but we're going to see if Danny takes this fight with the mandatory after beats Ratcash and take Crawford. And I think even that fight happens because Crawford just had his mandatory fight with Green Machine of this year. So that fight, if anything, will happen 2021 or possibly late 2020. But I think 2021 is if Danny elects to fight Crawford. If not, I think I can see Sergey Lickman taking it. If not, Virgil and Crawford. What? That is crazy, man. All right, guys. It's your boy AB, and I'm out. Let me know what you guys think, man. Peace.